Everyone, thank you for joining me. Today we're going to look at some of our Save the Planet books. We can start with this one, which is an Usborne Lift the Flap. It has a wider age range, and as we go through this, you can see if your learner would be interested in it. It starts off talking about our amazing planet. This is both information and a table of contents and comments, usually. Okay, and then what's going wrong? And so this is going to talk about how we can help. Every single choice we make impacts our planet, even if it doesn't seem like that big of a choice at all. And this book goes through why biodiversity and our planet is so important. How can you help? Build a bug hotel. Use recycled paper. Grow flowers for pollinators. Those generally require sun, but I found some shade mixes. Join a nature group. We're kind of creating our own in our backyard. Masked, distanced. Bat boxes. So a lot of bat boxes that you find online are actually wrong. Do a quick Google and see what kind of bat boxes are recommended for your area. That way you have the right kind of bat box, and you want to mount it up high and south facing, and generally you want to have a good swoop zone for the bats. Let's see, farming and food. So much stuff. I know many of you know reduce, reuse, recycle, but did you know it's supposed to be in that order? Reduce, then reuse, which books are great for reusing, and then recycle. So ideally you don't have that much stuff to recycle because you are reusing it or not getting it in the first place. There's also a lot of crossover between saving money groups and books and zero waste groups. Obviously, I love these books and I encourage everyone to get them, but the library is also a great place to find books. Again, another reason I joined this Usborne Books and More is because they were not available at our library. So that was looking after our planet. This one is for older kids helping our planet. And you can see it is much more newspapery like paper. And it is full of wonderful ideas. This one would be fantastic for a teacher and anyone who is interested in spreading information. Sorry, I have a separate video all about this one, so if you really want to see inside, I encourage you to check out Book Lady in the Woods, helping our planet. Here's 100 things to know about saving the planet. I love this series. I like reading it myself. It's still a bit much for my kindergartner, but I have learned so much, especially from the food and the history ones. Yeah, look. And this is so cool. Houses could wear jeans. There is actually insulation made from jeans, and if you Google it, you can buy it possibly at your local Home Depot. And if you can't buy it locally, I think you can get a pallet of denim insulation shipped to your house. So pretty cool. You can bring wildlife into your backyard by just letting it be. Don't try to spray a lot of pesticides or herbicides. There's some things that you can do. Save energy, make journeys greener. Speaking of saving energy, I just learned how huge the carbon footprint is of the Bitcoins and coins like that. The digital currency has a huge carbon footprint because it requires so much energy to mine and to certify the new tokens. So even though it seems, oh, it's digital, there's no trees wasted, well, it uses a lot of energy. Alright, so this is also one of my favorite books. It's all about plastic. Plastic, the fabric of our lives. And it talks about how this happened, and it's largely just because plastic is so cheap. It doesn't cut you when it breaks like glass does, or like metal, but it is not all that. It talks about alternatives, and we were recently looking at getting a new deck made out of Trex, because whenever you return your plastic bags to the grocery store in the plastic recycling section, that goes to Trex, where it's melted down and turned into decking, which is pretty darn cool. However, we decided that we can squeeze a few more years out of our deck before we need to make that decision. So we're going to stick with the wood deck. But I am now a bigger fan of Trex deck. My aunt had got one of those when I was in high school in 2000, and it is 20 years later and it still looks amazing. So this one, like questions and answers about plastic, questions and answers about recycling and trash, is all about recycling and trash. Where does trash come from? I think and then it talks about what is recycling. Taking trash and recovering the materials so that it can be made into new things. I highly encourage everyone, if you haven't already, to check out what kinds of books your library might have on zero waste and just checking out the whole zero waste concept. It's where you make zero waste. Well, how do you do that? Well, composting. Recycling counts as zero waste. The main idea is that nothing goes to the landfill. There are also some cool videos on YouTube about recycling plants. And there's also a good Magic School Bus book about recycling. I think it's Magic School Bus Gets Recycled. Oh, what do you do with your old batteries? Did you know that you're supposed to save them and put them in a recycling bin? You can also look up places that recycle clothing. And anywhere you may donate clothing, you can also see what they do with their the clothing that is wasted. Anything that's donated that isn't going to get sold. What does your favorite thrift store do with them? Why do companies use so much packaging? Right, so here we talk about bulk. What can you do with stale bread? You can use it to make croutons, breadcrumbs, overripe bananas. Yum! Banana bread. I love adding cherries and coconut and pineapple to my banana bread. So it's actually more of a hummingbird bread. I know, you guys are learning so much about me today, aren't you? Sorry about that. Ta-da! Love these books. This is probably one of my favorite categories of books, and I'm so glad that Usborne produces them. So here are some of our books about saving the planet. Uh-oh, the little one's missing. Have a great day, and thanks for joining me.